Any second now?
Separated by cosmic cabinets, Brandon, Paul, and Logan are broadcasting the Breakdown Podcast live using their telepathic powers. My name is Brandon Miracle, broadcasting live from the Break Room Arcade. If you look south of me in the video version, you'll actually see the beautiful face of Logan Welliver this time. Or no, it is Paul. I have it backwards. I have two different layouts. Paul Anderson, south of me in the video version. Right of me in the video version is Logan Welliver. And today we have a special guest, Ace the Gamer Dude. Welcome, Ace.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody.
This is episode 16 of the Breakdown Podcast, recorded live on June 1st, 2018. It's E3 month, boys. We're getting close.
It's also really hot because it's almost summer, and it's really hot in my room because there is no ventilation. Yeah,
it's actually not the real reason. It's because you're in there.
Wow, things are getting steamy on the Breakdown.
Well, that's the problem. There's no ventilation. I have nowhere to radiate my heat to except the surrounding environment.
Okay, I understand your plight. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about on today's episode. If you live under a rock, you might not know that there was some pretty big Pokemon news over the last week.
Pretty big. It's pretty big Pokemon
and
news.
Team Sonic Racing probably got, washed into all of that news. So
that's the best Pokemon game.
Nintendo is releasing a dockless Switch in Japan, but not in North America. We'll be talking about that. Wahoo World just got added to Splatoon 2. Fortnite has been discovered on the Korean ratings board for Nintendo Switch. And a couple other things we'll be talking about. Just to kind of plunge us right in. Excuse me, I just had Burger King. First thing on the docket is Team Sonic Racing. So this got announced accidentally by Walmart because they've been leaking everything for whatever reason.
I could have sworn this was something that was already announced, though.
It was announced. We didn't have a title.
Okay, I guess I'll give that to them. It's not a whole lot, though. I mean, I feel like the details they gave with it were more significant than like, hey, there's Sonic Team Racing.
The big thing is that they released a bunch of screenshots and detailed the gameplay and did not let Sega do that themselves. So thanks, Walmart. You've really been on a roll lately.
Thanks, Walmart. Now we know what we're expecting.
I really hope they start memeing hard in response to all of this. As an apology, they just start memeing about it.
That'd be wonderful. Let's go over some key features for Team Sonic Racing. It's got online multiplayer and local co-op modes, 12 players per race, 4 players split screen, various offline online racing modes, including Grand Prix, Exhibition mode, Time Trial, and Team Adventure. Team Adventure sounds pretty cool to me. Team Racing, race as a team, win as a team. Use various team moves to assist your teammates, knock out opponents, and unleash your team ultimate. I kind of like the whole idea behind this game. They're really selling the whole team thing.
What if you don't have friends?
Then obviously you lose.
Guilty.
We got enough for 2 teams here, 2 twos.
There we go.
Logan, I think you had a thought that may or may not still be there.
Yeah, it's still there. I don't know. I really like
not a sponsor.
Sonic, and I really like racing games. Like, for example, I was playing Need for Speed Underground 2, and I think the last few Sonic racing games have been really solid, a lot of fun. I wonder how this is going to differentiate itself other than the team racing mechanic. Now, that being said, the team racing mechanic probably sounds like the most intriguing part of this entire thing, because I love team online multiplayer games. It's just, I love Splatoon.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of build the game play around the idea of working together.
It's gonna be Double Dash.
Well, maybe, but it sounds like you don't occupy the same cars.
Right.
In that teaser they showed, we had Sonic and Shadow driving alongside one another, which, I don't know, that just kind of sells the whole concept to me a little bit more. What kinds of gameplay elements are they going to introduce in order to sell the idea of racing as a team in the first place?
Yeah.
I really like Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. I think that's a great game, and it looks like it will be borrowing elements from that and kind of lean more on the competitive side. So that appeals to me. Does that appeal to you guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ace, what did you think when you first saw this?
Yeah.
I kind of expected it. I don't really have much to say on this. I was expecting a new one for at least like the Switch and the newer consoles. Seeing as how the whole new team mechanic's going to be taken into effect, I'm really interested to see how that will play out. I'm just really excited for it. I loved, like you said, All Stars Transformed. One of my favorite Sonic racing games.
It's really good.
It's so
Better
good.
than Sonic R.
It's not
I'll
hard
fight
to do
you
that.
on that. No.
Any thoughts on
Let's
that, Paul?
go.
I haven't played any of them up till now. This is probably going to be like my jumping off point for Sonic Racing because I don't know what else I'm going to be playing.
You're gonna jump off?
Yeah, I'm going to jump
Screw
off
this
my
game
car.
later, dude. You just kind of like jump out of the way.
I think I'm going to try it. Are you happy
All right.
now, Logan?
Yeah, man.
There's some good
Sounds pretty
stream
good.
potential in all of that too.
Yeah, like team races.
Hey to you guys in the chat, Nintendo Snow Plays. This is Ace the Gamer Dude. You can check him out on Twitter right there. His Twitter handle's below his face. And head over to his YouTube channel as well. Moving on, there is a dockless Switch bundle releasing in Japan. And that's pretty much where it's going to stay from what it sounds like. They have no plans to
Not
release this to
coming
the
to
Americas.
America.
I was kind of anticipating that this would happen. You know, Japan is a largely portable gaming culture. This is nothing new for them, and I just don't think it necessarily makes sense to launch here, especially at that price point. Because I want to say it's launching at like $250 without a dock or an AC adapter. When the combined price of those two items, I want to say, is $120.
How much is just the AC adapter add? Like what, 25 back to that?
It's $30, I want to say.
And so how much are you saving by getting just it's 250? So
It's
basically
only
saving
$50.
$20. I can understand like if it's for the people that like a parent already has it, like in your household, you and your wife both have a Switch.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you bought your Switch and then save $50 to get
We have a
Right,
dock
first.
for every TV in the house, but we need another Switch. You know?
if you're pair and you forgot your Switch at home, you're at the airport, you go to Best Buy and buy another Switch. That's who it's
Thank
for.
God I don't have to spend that extra $50.
Yeah, like the price point really is the only thing here that irks me. I think releasing a dockless Switch is a good idea for Japan, but man, you're losing money. Like if you ever wanted to buy a dock later, you would have lost money on this deal.
I feel like if they wanted to bring it here, they'd have to really negotiate that price point. But it actually could be a pretty like decent, bundle for parents trying to get a Switch for their kids.
For sure.
Right.
If they want
and
to be
I
a
think
multi-Switch household.
That's really the thing. And I imagine that in Japan, there's going to be tons of multi-Switch households. So you're going to have at least 3 or 4 per house,
You need
and
12
then it's
Switches
like,
per house.
how many TVs is anybody going to have in their house?
You look at the Splatoon 2 tournaments they hold in Japan, and you'll see families enter. So that's at least 4 members of the household who own a Switch. So
Right.
you can definitely see kind of where this bundle fits in that market.
Yeah.
Would you guys want a dockless Switch to be released here in the Americas?
I don't need it. I think it wouldn't necessarily hurt Nintendo to release it here. That's about where I'm at with it.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I play my Switch docked almost all the time. I can see it like definitely for children.
Yeah.
I know I've got a couple nieces, or my fiance's nieces, love my Switch. They want one, but their dad's like, it's too expensive. Might as well just release a dockless one. Could see it selling pretty well.
I think if they brought it here, maybe dropping that price a little bit more, or including an AC adapter.
I think a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, especially towards holiday season, like that would probably sell the system that's already selling like crazy even more.
I could definitely see this for like next holiday season where they're releasing the next generation Pokemon game. That's like the perfect companion hardware bundle for that.
Yes.
They could definitely sell a lot of money. Are we just going to ignore Logan being dead?
I figured at some point he would just drop and then come back. And everything would be fine.
Does someone want to let him know in the chat that he's not here anymore?
I think he's stuck. in limbo.
Yeah.
He's getting prepared to talk about it, and he's just like,
he's stuck in that new space background we got going on.
I feel like, though, getting back to the dockless Switch.
Yeah, for sure.
I've heard a lot of different, like, everybody plays the Switch in different ways. So, like, for the first 6 months that I had it, I played almost exclusively in handheld because I just could not fit the dock on the stand that my TV was on. There's just too much stuff. And so it just wasn't practical for me to use the dock at all. And so if I was in a situation like that, or, you know, I've heard people that they just like playing in handheld. They're always on the go. They never even use their dock. They just gave it away or whatever. I feel like they could sell a dockless Switch.
For sure. I feel that. Do we have Logan back? Hey!
Hey!
There he is.
welcome back.
Did you even know you were dead?
Yeah. No, I figured out pretty quick when I was dead.
Definitely heard like a door close.
You did.
Did you take advantage to grab a snack? Is that what happened?
Yes.
You don't fool me.
An ice cream sandwich.
Not this time.
Hey, you threw us for a loop on that one. Also, Splatoon 2 added a new stage. I want to say it was yesterday, Wahoo World, which I believe was the last stage from the last batch of stage announcements we got during that Nintendo Direct. I haven't got a chance to play on this yet, but I'm pretty excited to do that. I really need to get back into Splatoon 2 just in general, because, you know, the Octo expansion is coming in a few weeks, presumably. Yeah. So that's cool. I think we're winding down on content for Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming up on that year mark.
Yeah, and that's as much support as we were promised outside of the 2 years of Splatfest. So, for all we
Just
know, this could
about.
be the last stage we get. That's not maybe premium.
No, we do have until July 21st. So that's the actual year mark, right?
Yeah, but we're coming in hot.
Well, I'm gonna dream
that we get more.
So we're getting a little bit more.
I would hope.
Fair enough.
Any other thoughts?
The final
on that?
content update will be on that year anniversary.
You calling it now?
I'm calling it now.
You placing a bet?
Put down a wager. Put down a wager. Welcome to E3, everybody. Here's the last of the free DLC for Splatoon. Also, here's the Octo expansion. Also, here's an open world Splatoon game where you can explore Angopolis, and then you can beat up other squids and take their money.
100 squids fall onto an island.
Oh my god. It's going to be their last
Splatoon
content.
Battle Royale.
Splattle Royale, excuse me.
Oh, dang.
Splat. Whoa.
Speaking of battle royales, Fortnite has appeared on the Korean ratings board for Nintendo Switch.
About time.
For those of you who have been paying attention to the old internets, we had a confirmed now fake leak for sticker banners that were printouts that were going to be on the E3 show floor, including some third-party games, Fortnite being one of them that was on the list. This rumor started getting some traction because some sources like Kotaku, Destructoid, and even GameXplain said that at least one of those games on there they had already known about, so they thought this rumor leak was real. Turns out the whole leak wasn't real, but Fortnite is in fact probably coming to Switch. If it's on the ratings board,
sense.
I think it's coming.
It makes sense to me that it's finally. It's just a matter of time before it dropped on Switch.
Yeah,
it's on
I'm not surprised by
smartphones.
this at all.
It's not a visually intensive game.
No.
So I mean, I think they might have designed around the fact that we want people to play this game. If we make it a little less visually intensive, then we can put this on, computers that aren't quite as beefy, or consoles that aren't quite as beefy. And so if it never comes to the Switch, I'll be surprised.
I mean,
It is currently
there's a
at the height
smoking
of
gun here.
popularity, and everybody's going to, go to a cafe, hop on the internet, and just like play Fortnite wherever they want.
Didn't Drake at one point say that he wanted it on Switch?
No Chance the Rapper said it.
Okay, it might have been
yeah.
Chance.
That was the one.
Someone
Chance the Rapper
prominent
was
said
like,
it.
"Yo, where's Fortnite? I need Fortnite on my Switch."
Chris Sabat said the same thing about Dragon Ball Fighters for coming to Switch, and that was also on the supposed leak, which is now confirmed untrue. So Rip
I do hope that
Dragon
one
Ball
happens.
It'd be
Fighters.
a good one. I also
I
wouldn't
still think it'll happen though.
Yeah, I think it'll happen.
Yeah.
That'll definitely be a good get. I want to take a moment to mention Maruto Fighter, who just showed up. He says, "Yo, just got here. What's up, top guys? No posters and new bottom right guy."
New bottom right guy.
Hey, there's no posters. There's no posters. But if you look right
He noticed.
here, I got a decoration just for you, man.
Paul was looking out for you, man. This happened just moments before the show went live in preparation.
And if that doesn't impress you, I've got more posters than you can handle. So
Yeah. See, Ace has got the posters
He's got
for
enough
Paul.
for Paul
Ace averages
and
us out.
himself.
yeah.
It kind of balances out like the corners of the screen here too, because Logan, you got one poster in your background as like a contrast to MySpace and Ace's.
Mm-hmm.
But it still looks pretty. Fortnite
Thanks.
coming to Switch, I think, is really important. If you remember, it took years for Minecraft to come to Wii U, and I think that was a mistake. When it came to
Yeah.
Switch,
Yeah.
Minecraft was right there. It didn't take very long, so we need Nintendo to be on these trends quicker. So this is a good sign. Does anyone here play Fortnite?
I've played it before.
Does it being on Switch interest you at all? Would you be willing to play more?
I would probably be way more willing to play it if it was on my Switch. Because I don't know, I think just a certain style of game fits on my Switch, and I think Fortnite would be up more at home. Now, that being said, I don't think I would play a ton either way, unless I was playing maybe the PvE, which is the reason I was into Fortnite in the first place, before they did the Battle Royale mode and it blew up.
The PvE doesn't even seem to get like any attention from general consumers, from what I can tell.
No, everybody's playing for the Battle Royale, you know. I guess that's okay, but it's not what the big game was built around.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some Nintendo exclusive content, some crossover stuff like we did on Minecraft with the Super
Just
Mario
some
pack.
visual items.
Yeah, just some cosmetic stuff.
Same with Rocket League had the Mario and Luigi car and the Samus car.
If only we could get like that Thanos mode.
That's more what I was
but
thinking.
Mario
Yeah,
themed.
With Mario, yeah.
or Bowser. You could be Bowser.
Oh,
That'd be dope.
yeah.
Or Captain Falcon.
Ooh.
Hey, a new F-Zero game. It's Fortnite. Congrats. I think the one thing that would actually get me to download it and try it out is if they added gyro aiming support.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
I think if the tech allows for it, like, you should at least put the option in there, you know?
It fits that Nintendo crowd, and like I've said many times on this show, they've added it to Doom and Wolfenstein, and the reception to that's been pretty
Yeah.
exceptional.
I do think it works best in a third-person perspective, though, for the aiming. That's why Splatoon just feels like a dream.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I feel that for sure. Any other thoughts on Fortnite before we move on?
It's a free game. If you like it, you play it. If you don't, that's okay as well.
It's about time it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, it should be on Switch.
It's on smartphones. It should be on Switch.
It's a game.
It is a game.
I probably
Killing it.
can't run it on this one.
So one more thing before we get into the Pokemon news.
What Pokemon news? What Pokemon news? We have
I'm
Pokemon
glad you
news.
asked.
That's
Smash
incredible.
Bros. Smash
Yeah.
Bros. is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
And Paul's
What's
right.
the Pokemon?
What is a Pokemon?
It's Pokemon.
So earlier on Nintendo of America's Twitter, they tweeted something out that I thought was interesting. They are running a promotion
Interesting.
right now. It says, earn double points or double gold points when you pre-purchase Mario Tennis Aces on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Offer ends the day the game comes out. I don't know why I didn't anticipate anything like this, but I think that's kind of cool. They're giving you more value for that digital
Yeah.
download.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Right
sure.
now, the current rate is like 5% back when you buy digitally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
So that'd be
brings it up to
10%
like
back.
10%. Yeah.
And this is
That's
like
not bad.
this is direct money back, like for the eShop. So like if you buy
Right.
mostly digital, this is a really cool thing for
You
you.
can buy like a $10 game after you buy
Yeah, you really could. So
well, not a
It's good
$10
value.
game. It'd be 10%, so that'd be
Six.
$6.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
most of your $10 game, though.
it's a
Right,
sizable
right.
chunk, like enough to actually be worthwhile.
That's some value right there.
I was pretty cool with this whole gold point thing when they announced it. Knowing that they're going to start doing stuff like this is pretty pretty awesome too.
It's
This is
pretty
what I wanted.
encouraging.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, Nintendo's really actually making, like, it's not just going to be, oh, here's 5% back, or here's a coupon for 10%, you know? Maybe they're going to do things a little more creatively, you know, reward those people who do this kind of stuff again and again and again.
Mhm.
Honestly, like that'd be a major selling point for Switch Online service too, is if you get some of these like specials, like hey, you get
Oh,
Or
yeah.
exclusive
I mean,
specials.
double gold points back.
That'd be
yeah, the fact that we'll be spending like, you know, $20 a year, and then you'll also get a bunch of deals. And if you buy enough games, like it's essentially like you're making that back,
Yeah.
except it was in soft money, you know?
Hey Ace, do you want to join
So-
our Switch family group?
sure.
We've already made it pretty cheap.
All right.
It's gonna keep bringing it down until it's like,
I think like it's gonna be like $4
Commodity.
and like 80 some cents a year for every person once we fill
Oh
up.
my god.
Yeah, like you can get it for dirt cheap.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I think that's pretty neat. I look forward to seeing more of this stuff from Nintendo, and the fact that like it's a first party title that, for one, they're demoing this weekend, so make sure you try that out because it starts
Yeah,
in
yeah.
like an hour. Actually, it started 5 minutes ago, I think.
no, what are you doing?
Okay,
Oh, hey,
Why are we
would you
even
look at the
doing
time?
this later, guys? I'm gonna grab my Switch.
Come back in 2 hours. I'll be streaming that here on the show.
Come back. Brandon will be streaming it.
Hey, yeah. Well, he's already in there. Look at that.
He came on our show and he left. He was like, screw this.
It's
We're
not my
playing
fault.
Mario Tennis.
You're just low key
play
playing it with
some
motion
tennis,
controls
man.
the rest of the time. You just
You just singing.
what? Yeah, I'm listening.
What about Pokemon? What's that?
Well, Pokemon, actually, we should talk about that. They've heard a lot of what we think, but Ace, I kind of want to throw this in your corner. Just what
Throw
do
it in
you,
his
what do you
corner.
think of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee?
I did a video yesterday talking about it. It was kind of rambly. It was kind of last minute.
Plug.
Yeah. Go look at the video. Go
Well,
watch
Ace
it.
the Gamer 2, watch the video,
Also, while you're there, subscribe.
please.
Please and thank you. At first, I'm not gonna say I hated it, but it was different. But as I kept watching it, I'm like, okay, I can get with this. I like Pokemon Go. And what really sold me was the co-op.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I've got a bunch of friends here, and they're all not really into Pokemon. A lot of what they say is that they just couldn't get into it because there was no aspect of player versus player besides online or battling.
Mhm.
But when I showed my fiance and her brother the co-op mechanic, they're like, "Oh my god, we have to play now!" Like every time we're over, we're probably just gonna play Pokemon.
That's super cool. I didn't even think of that kind of response. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So outside of that, are you a Pokemon fan just in general? I guess we should ask that first.
I am a huge Pokemon fan.
Okay. We've seen a lot of negativity surrounding these games since they've been announced because, the core Pokemon fans feel like they're being betrayed because a lot of the Go integrations and the fact that it's not Gen 8. Where do you kind of stand in that sense?
I mean, that's fine if you hate it. I don't care. It's Pokemon. I like just about anything Pokemon. This, in my mind, this wasn't made for the general Pokemon audience. This was made for people who started maybe getting into Pokemon with Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hate it, you hate it. If you don't, if you think it's a good idea, I think it's a good idea. I like the idea of it.
Yeah, that's kind of where we stand too. And Nintendo, well, not Nintendo, but the Pokemon Company, very quickly announced that the next core entry in the series will be coming out late half of next year.
I feel like that fell on deaf ears for the most part, and that's why a lot of people end up
Guys.
being upset.
Everybody wins. No one lost.
It's like, just chill.
I feel like the other part of this whole thing, like all the negativity, is that you really had to dig to find a lot of information. And so, like, I've heard a lot of people saying things like, "Oh, I don't like it because of this." Well, that's not really an issue because if you look here, there's still traditional battle system.
Mhm.
Like I've heard people complain about that, and if you're still upset about like not being able to battle in wild Pokemon, I can get that. Different arguments like make sense to me versus other ones that like did you read an article? Did you watch the trailer? Did you miss something? Because
did you look
You're
at
wrong.
it at all? There's a lot of misinformation going around, and I have to attribute a lot of that to the way that this was presented in the first place. This was a Japanese exclusive press conference that did not live stream, and that just caused a ton of people to not know like those minute details that they would typically share in like a Nintendo Direct. And I think we're seeing the negative impact of that. If this had been in a Nintendo Direct as well as that Japanese press conference, I feel like the reaction might be a little more positive because people would understand a lot more what they're getting into.
Yeah. I mean, but thankfully they have a lot of time and they haven't really talked a lot. So, we're going to get a lot more information very soon with E3 and then probably several more times leading up to the November release.
For those of you in the chat, sorry.
Go ahead, Paul.
Just really quickly, I posted a link to a tweet in the chat that links to an article. I couldn't just link to the article, but it's a very like in-depth look at Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and it actually like when I was reading through this, I found myself getting more excited because it kind of unraveled some of those things that I wasn't sure about or I was hesitant about. And so, like, this is where I first learned that there's still going to be, like, online battling and trading, but they're not really working to implement, like...
This was a big point of contention.
Yeah. That... I'm trying to think, like, offhand examples. There were a lot of different things that I read in that were like, oh, this has been something that people have been really sore about, and they're wrong.
Yeah.
Like they don't need to be.
Yeah, that first night, like the news spread very quickly that there would not be any online in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, when in fact that was a misunderstanding between a journalist and I want to say the CEO of the Pokemon company. What's really happening is they're not utilizing Nintendo Switch Online. The game will have online. It will have online battles, online training, no ranked online battles. That really confused everyone, including me.
Yeah. One of the other things that like it got more in depth than I was expecting was the integration with Pokemon Go. And like at first they make it seem like you can transfer all of your Pokemon from Pokemon Go into Let's Go and that you just have them and whatnot. And it really kind of broke down and made me okay with that system because at first I'm like, well, that's a very cheap way to get a bunch of Pokemon in your game. You don't unlock that till like halfway through the game. And when you do, you'll transfer them. It's a one-way thing, so you can transfer them to Let's Go. You can't get them back. So you have to be careful about which Pokemon you're sending over. After you send them over, it goes into like a mini game where you do have to go and recatch those Pokemon. And then from there, I don't remember anything else, but I mean, like that. It alleviates some of my fears with that. That would just be a very quick way to...
Also, I think the fact that this isn't like a core title, I can forgive that kind of functionality because one of the big design decisions they made was that they were going to... Hey, guys, this is essentially Pokemon Go with a lot of the other main Pokemon stuff, you know?
Those core elements are still there, and a lot of people are ignoring that.
Well, but then when you go out and you catch things, you choose to catch things. You're essentially just playing, Pokemon Go within this game, you know. And then now you go outside and catch Pokemon. So I think because it's so different than a core Pokemon game, I think that's okay. I think it's actually great. It's a lot of incentive for me to continue playing Pokemon Go when I can do something else with those Pokemon.
I think a great source of contention was that when it first was announced, people were thinking it's 90% Pokemon Go, 10% core. And
it's
really,
not true.
It's more like 85% core Pokemon, the way you know it and love it, with maybe like 15% Pokemon Go integrated into it.
Yeah, the catching part is the same.
That's
about it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to walk
delightful.
across your city to find a Pokestop to buy things, you know?
Yeah.
So
It's me, Nick, in the chat says, wondering if Let's Go will be connected to Pokemon Bank. I have a 150% inclination that it will not. And that's because they're keeping the CP stats from Pokemon Go in Pokemon Let's Go. Not really sure how that all works exactly. But it's for that reason that I don't feel like you'll be able to transfer Pokemon in and out from the Pokemon Bank. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think that we will have that capability.
Yeah, I feel like if it does utilize Pokemon Bank, that like your Pokemon Go and Let's Go Pokemon will be in a different compartment than all your regular
in their
Pokemon.
own special box.
Yeah, and these ones you can't take out for like special occasions.
That's actually something I wanted to bring up. The Pokemon box that will be in Pokemon Let's Go is in your backpack, and you can access it whenever you want from wherever you are. So, like, if you're in the middle of bum nowhere on route whatever, and all your Pokemon are weak, you can swap them all out with the Pokemon box and get a fresh new team without having to go to a Pokemon Center.
That's such a nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so a lot of like the little streamliney things, I really dig.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that this is partially experimentation to see what really would fit in the Pokemon universe, like what kind of changes they could make that would be a welcome change, as opposed to like, oh, you took away our battle system kind of thing, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is gonna, over time, like when people see more of it, they're gonna kind of calm down, I think.
Yeah, and I have a feeling we're gonna see a lot of it here in just a week and a half or so. This will probably get a treehouse demonstration that I will hope will alleviate a lot of the concerns from a lot of the people. It's Me Nick says, well, they managed to use Pokemon Bank for Red and Blue despite the stat changes in later generations, so I don't feel like it's impossible. That's why I said not to quote me. They could definitely do it. It's just the fact that we're going between, at that point, we're like going between 3 different services that I'm unsure. But it's always possible. Yeah. So that's Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, but Ace, like I said before, they also announced that the next core entry, they didn't say it was Gen 8, but we'll assume that, will be coming in the late half of next year. How does that have you feeling?
Excited. I honestly can't wait for it. I was a little taken aback when I heard that the next Pokemon game was going to be a remake of Yellow, and I wasn't sure how that was going to work since they have, they remade Red and Green. I was like, that's what we're going to be getting for the first Switch, but knowing that there's a core Pokemon game and that we're going to be getting even more Pokemon, which I will never catch all of them, has me really excited. I can't wait to see what they bring back, what they do differently, if in any way that maybe Let's Go influences this game somehow. I'm just excited.
Are there any elements from Let's Go that you've seen so far that you wouldn't mind coming to the next game?
Co-op. First off,
okay.
Yeah,
I'd be down with that.
And then you say bringing up the whole bag, the PC box is in the bag now.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking about that, like maybe they could bring that in somehow. That'd be a really neat addition, especially since maybe this Pokemon game will most likely be the biggest Pokemon game we've seen.
Definitely. They also go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I don't really think I have anything much else to say. So I'm really excited to see what new Pokemon they're going to show off. Maybe they'll bring back Z-moves. Maybe Mega Evolutions are going to come back, but I don't know.
I'd be surprised to see some of those elements go. I think we're probably going to see the evolution of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon in this next game. There are a couple things I'd like to see from Let's Go come over to Pokemon 8, Pokemon Switch, whatever you want to call it. It might be a little controversial, but I'm kind of into this whole catching mechanic thing. It really depends on how they balance that between breeding and training your Pokemon. Because as we know, like battling wild Pokemon is a big way that we get experience in those games. So a lot of questions will be answered when we see the game a little bit more. But I'm also excited for Gen 8, as I'm sure Paul and Logan, you are as well.
I think I'll be more excited if I can ever get through Sun and Pokemon Y.
You haven't finished either of them yet.
Nope.
I can't talk because I haven't finished Sun, but I did finish Y.
Why?
You disappoint me.
Why?
It'll happen.
Shouldn't really say much. I haven't beaten Ultra Sun yet, so
I didn't even buy Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon.
Yeah.
Nope.
And not for lack of being a Pokemon fan, but I figured I should probably beat Sun if I even wanted to get the game afterwards.
That's fair.
So that's it for Pokemon news, which swings us over into what?
I just really wanted to quickly mention that if you go over to Twitter at the Break Room Arcade, there's a poll going on for which version of Pokemon Let's Go I
That's
should
still
get.
going on.
It's got 2
It's
days
right for
left.
the next few days. There's Eevee and Pikachu. Currently
Eevee.
So if you want me to get Let's Go Pikachu, you really need to pull together and step it up, guys.
I'm a proud Pikachu fan, and that's the way I'm going. Yellow was my first Pokemon game, though, so I'm kind of emotionally
was
attached.
Brandon's first.
I legitimately just couldn't
Pokemon.
decide. So I mean, if it's
Fair
Eevee
enough.
that I get, I'm cool with that. If it's Pikachu, I get, I'm interested in both.
You can't evolve your starters, so think about that too.
Nothing matters.
So now we'll swing over into the breakdown segment of the Breakdown podcast. This is where we talk about our favorite movies, TV, anime, and games that we experienced over the last week.
Anime.
I'll go ahead and go first, and then we'll swing it over to Ace right after me with movies. So I have a few movies here to talk about. This all kind of happened in 2 days. I've been watching the DC animated movie universe films. I was already invested in these, but I wanted to start from the beginning and go back through because I watched them out of order the first time. Because when I first started watching them, I was unaware that there was a movie universe. I just kind of found out amidst my my watching. So
I just found out. Look at us go.
the first movie in the lineup of the animated movie universe is Justice League Flashpoint. Or Flashpoint Paradox, which is a
That's
very
a
famous
good
DC
movie.
story for
Excellent
those of
movie.
you who don't know. I won't get into the details because you really should experience it for the first time yourself. You can either read the comic, which is like $13 on Amazon, or you can go watch it on Hulu right now. If you have Hulu, you can watch it there for free.
For free.
Great story. I absolutely loved watching it again. There's a
paying for
particular spin on Batman that I really, really love in this movie.
Oh yeah.
And if you've read the comic, this is the kickstart to the New 52. Canonically, like there's actual story beats that make it the New 52 that I didn't realize until after I went and looked at the comic a little bit. So there you go. So this starts the New 52, which is essentially the movies and stories that the animated movies take place in. Following this is Justice League War, which is the first official movie in the New 52 line. Essentially, this is how the Justice League became friends. Yeah, the Cyborg's origin story. It's essentially Justice League, the feature film, but animated and maybe better than that movie.
It's 100 times better than that movie.
So there's that. I really enjoyed that one.
Wait. You mean they didn't do a poorly CGI'd mustache for Superman in it?
No, as a matter of fact, they didn't.
I think they need to go back and fix that.
They did really good with the eraser effect, though.
The weird thing about like the Justice League feature film is like there's elements of New 52 in there, but it's very much like the original Golden Age DC. So they're kind of blending it together a little bit. After that, I watched Son of Batman, which is the next one chronologically in films. This is where Damian Wayne is introduced. Batman finds out he has a son. Oh boy, Batman had his kid that he didn't know about, and he's like 8, 9, 10 years old already.
And he's murderous.
Yeah, way to go, Batman. You're really paying attention to your family values.
Parenting.
Parenting 101, Batman style.
Parenting 101. Just don't know about your kid.
This movie isn't as stellar as the previous two, but it's still pretty good. We get some moments with Nightwing, and Dick Grayson's my favorite superhero, so anytime he's on screen, I'm like, yay! But yeah, I mean, it's kind of, that's about it. It's an hour and 10 minutes long. You kind of get what you get out of it. The animation in these movies, I should say, are pretty good. There's like a nice blend between Western animation and almost like an anime style. It's kind of an evolution of what we saw with the Batman animated series and stuff like that going forward. After that, I watched Justice League Throne of Atlantis. This was actually the first time I'd seen it because this was the part where I was jumping around because I didn't know there was a chronology to this stuff. Throne of Atlantis is pretty good. They introduce Aquaman in this movie. You get his origin story.
Is he the cool Aquaman?
It's the cool Aquaman. It's the New 52 Aquaman,
Cool.
which is the good one, apparently.
Thank Jesus.
Yeah, some cool story beats in this one. Again, they're all kind of samey because they're the same universe, same animation styles. But there's 11 of them right now, and if you're looking for some DC goodness with a continuity, this is a good way to experience that. There's a like $200 Blu-ray set with every DC animated movie ever made, and it includes, I want to say, pretty much all of these except the newest one. So if you're a DC fan, that's a pretty cool buy.
Is your wallet hurting? Is that what that was?
I didn't buy it.
Ow! Ow!
I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay.
Yes. My wallet's over here. It can writhe in pain.
I can kind of hear it. I can hear it screaming just so faintly.
So outside of that, I didn't really do any TV. I do plan on watching the rest of the DC animated movie universe films. There's actually a new one out that came out a couple months ago, Suicide Squad. Squad. And it's either next month or 2 months, they're doing the Death of Superman story. It's actually a two-parter. It's going to be 2 movies. But the next one doesn't come out until 2019, which kind of sucks. But they've been doing like 2 movies a year. It's been pretty cool. I don't know how much longer it will go. Because for those of you who aren't aware, don't read the comics, DC is currently in its 3rd iteration with DC Rebirth. Because the New 52 concluded, and now they're on to this. Maybe they'll start making movies of that at some point. But that's where it's all at. Ace, I'm going to throw it in your corner. What movies and TV have you watched this week?
I started my week off by actually going and seeing Deadpool 2 finally.
Oh, what'd you think?
I still haven't seen it.
Then I won't spoil it for you. No, I'm not going to spoil it. I will say this. I liked it less than I did the first one, but it's still a really good movie. The jokes are all there. Everything about Deadpool is still there. They keep him out of his suit a lot in this one. It focuses more on Wade as a person and not a anti-hero. There's I feel like there's more fourth wall breaks. I will say that not a lot of the actors gave a really good performance. The kid that you see in the trailers, the one with the hot hands,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's terrible, but you could tell that he said a lot of things, just repeated a lot of things.
It was a little hammy.
Yeah. Just like him. He's a little ham. If you're wanting to see Deadpool with Wolverine, this is not going to give it away, but there's hints to Wolverine in this movie. There's also a villain that I did not expect, and I was really excited to see him done right, I feel.
Oh, yeah, they played that up really well, too.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, it's a good movie. Can't wait for it to come out. I'm going to buy it as soon as it comes out. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
Logan.
I'm gonna go.
I got
see
you a
it.
movie pass, Logan. Go see it.
Yeah, this next week. How's it gonna work the whole next weekend? I'll probably find a day to go see it.
I live like 20 or 30 miles from a theater, and even I went and saw it. Like, you have no excuse.
Yeah, Logan, this is kind of sad.
And
You have to watch it because we have a podcast we have to do every week.
if I do other
Do it
things
for the fans.
Don't
man.
berate me on the things that I don't or do watch.
So, what else you got there, Ace?
I did watch quite a few different movies this week, but something that I don't know what prompted me to watch this again was Power Rangers, the 2017 movie.
Power Rangers.
Oh, I'm glad you brought
Power
that up.
Rangers.
Real quick, Hasbro did announce they're continuing that film franchise.
I saw that, and that actually makes me very happy because for a while we weren't even, as far as I know, we weren't even sure if we were going to get a sequel.
It was pretty close to being on the shutdown side of things.
Interesting thing about it, like, it did terrible at the box office, but it sold like crazy at home.
Mm-hmm.
Did it do well
So,
overseas? I think it did, didn't it?
I think it
Might
did.
have.
Yeah.
It might have done weller overseas, but that doesn't
Weller.
mean
Logan
well.
Welliver.
Oh, I love her.
Logan Weller.
Yes. I gotta say, for a more adult, serious take on the Power Rangers, I really like this movie. I loved it when it came out. I bought the Blu-ray recently, and that's probably why I wanted to watch it. Usually when I buy Blu-rays, I just put them on the shelf and I don't touch them again.
That's what I did with my copy.
Yeah. But
You know what they did wrong with this film? I'm like, I got this little image on my screen of like the poster, and it just looks it looks like Transformers.
Yeah,
Like that's what it looks like. I mean,
thought you
how
were
are you
gonna say
supposed to
that
market
didn't
a
have
film
Amy
that
Jo
doesn't
Johnson
have
on
like
it.
a distinct look? You know, it's like if you look hard enough, you're like, oh, that looks.
How are you gonna have a Power Rangers
like,
movie without Amy Jo Johnson on the cover there?
I know, right?
That's why people watch Power Rangers. Like, come on.
I mean,
And Bryan Cranston. They didn't put Bryan Cranston out there enough. Like, hey, look at this giant face. They didn't do that enough.
we should have made his face blue. Like they should have taken Walter White's head and just made it blue. And just put it in the background.
The goatee and everything. The hat.
It's all we needed.
Back to the Transformers. There is a Transformers joke in this. It's when they're in their Zords and the T-Rex kicks a Camaro, a yellow Camaro.
Oh.
He's like, "Sorry, Bumblebee." And
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, okay, that's all right.
Nice. You're right on the nose with that one.
That's the one thing that stuck out to me, and it shouldn't have. It really shouldn't have. I will say the story. A lot of people didn't like how the movie was structured and how the story played out, but I felt because they didn't really morph until the very last like 20 minutes, and I was like,
Yeah.
That's pretty common with like these origin story
Yeah.
kind of movies. So I think it's passable.
Yeah, they
in this
need to
case.
do less of them.
yeah.
Stop doing origin stories. We know how they came to be, and nobody cares for the Power Rangers. What?
Excuse me? No.
I would argue that there are people here that do care about the Power Rangers, Logan.
Very much.
Nobody cares about Power Rangers.
I feel like this is when we were arguing about baseball and soccer. Logan lives in a world where nobody likes baseball. He's
Nobody
wrong.
likes baseball. It's so boring.
I'm with you,
boring.
Logan. I'm
You know
with
why I
you.
go to baseball games? You know why I go to baseball games? I go to baseball games because sometimes I get free tickets, and it's an excuse to go out.
You go to baseball games to sit in bleachers and drink with a bunch of strangers rooting for
Right.
their other team.
But
Yeah,
Power
but
Rangers.
I argued with somebody about this. It's like it's structured like the show. So it didn't really change until like the last 5 minutes in the beginning.
Like with the
I-
first
I just-
episode.
But at
like-
the same time, I would have liked to see them actually in their suits and training and using their Zords. They didn't really use them to the full effect, I feel.
Yeah.
They had to save it for a sequel. They couldn't play all their cards on the first outing.
It could have also
I
been an
had to
issue
save
of
it.
budget.
There's that too.
Probably, yeah.
I honestly really enjoyed that little tidbit where it took them a lot longer to figure it out. It wasn't like it wasn't as like peachy as the show is.
Yeah,
As
we
cheesy
arrive
where
at it
it's
too
like,
quickly in the show.
Here's power. Hey, we know how to use this perfectly. Let's go. They had to learn to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They're a
they
little bit
grounded a
more
lot more
misfits.
in reality. As
Yeah,
much as
for
you
sure.
can with something like Power Rangers, but still.
Yeah.
In a world where superhero movies are the biggest franchise, people are, yeah, complaining about realism in a Power Rangers movie.
Some people.
Yeah. Overall, I did enjoy it. I really wish they didn't do Goldar the way they did, though. I was so upset about that. Goldar was one of my favorite villains in the show.
They made him
And he-
into like a melty looking thing, right? I remember
Yeah,
it
they
looking
did.
goofy.
He was a giant gold replica of a Megazord. That's basically it.
Yeah, I remember
Or
that
their-
was a
or
bit of
their
a turn off for
Megazord.
me too.
Yeah. I mean, you took a character who actually has like a personality and a drive, made him a cannon fodder. Which
So, just a thought. I think they should hire me on for this next film, and we should do some original villains because I could totally come up
What
with
was it
some
that
really
you were?
cool
What was it
names.
that you were just saying
So,
about it, Logan?
What?
Didn't you like just get done saying how boring it was?
No, well, that's why they need to hire me, so I make it exciting. That's why. So, Hasbro, if you want to hit me up, like, I got my phone, you can call it. That's
What he's trying to say
I like
is,
how you showing
I
your
liked what
phone
you were
means you're gonna
doing.
get called.
Right
I like
here,
what-
this one, call this one.
What you're trying to say is, I liked what you were doing, but I think we can do better. Hit me up. I got you.
And then they
Pretty
call
much.
Paul instead.
I
Get
have
Bob,
nothing.
son.
Do what you did last time, but better.
Do it.
Anything
Better.
else you watched this week?
I don't watch a lot of TV, but for some reason I've had a lot of nostalgic. I've been feeling very nostalgic with like Cartoon Network shows, and I've been halfway through with Ed, Ed and Eddie already, and I forgot just how great that show was.
It's really good.
Mhm.
That is,
And I think it didn't help that I bought the Misadventures on GameCube. I was like, oh, it's $2. I might as well get it added to the collection. And I'm like, I might as well just watch the show now.
I missed out on that game, but I know like it's apparently really like faithful to the source material.
It is. It really is. I was kind of surprised by it. But yeah, I've been watching Ed, Ed and Eddie, and then the recent Thundercats reboot. I really don't want to talk about that one, but that got me to.
We've
got me
already
going
talked about
back
that
into.
ad nauseum.
Yeah, it got me really thinking because there were a lot of people who were like, "You had a 2011 more serious, more like driven, and it was kind of like Avatar,
Logan.
The Last Airbender."
Did he freeze again?
I'm sorry, but like that pose is perfect.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
He's so happy though.
He's gonna come back with another snack. You know what's gonna happen.
But yeah, I love the 2011 series. I watched the first few episodes again, and I was just like blown away.
It's a shame
And
that
I
didn't
even-
get more traction because I want to say that's the reason it ended, right?
Yeah, it really didn't get the views it should have. And I think it's because they jumbled it around with the time slot a lot. I think it. I'm not gonna be able to talk with that face. They jumbled around with the time slot a lot. I remember it being on about 5 o'clock, I think, and then they moved it to really early in the morning on Saturdays when kids aren't going to be awake.
Yeah, that's a dead zone, pretty much. That's like sending it to its grave.
Yeah, but the character designs, the story, so from what I've rewatched, it's just so good, and I love how they did the origin of Lion-O and all that.
Logan
And even
accidentally hit the breaker on his power strip.
Oh, there goes our layout.
Uh-oh.
We'll just have to keep rolling with it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we look great, guys. I'm
I
right
can't,
here.
I can't see it. I'll have to.
I'm right here, guys.
I'll have to load it up.
Logan
and see
died.
this. Logan died.
Hey, what's up? It's me. I have just enough room for my head.
I gotta look at this. Oh, it's got.
Still wasn't messed up.
Oh my God! What?
Hey,
There it goes.
Hello?
Yeah.
everyone get in your
Hello?
little box. So we,
For
while
those
we
of you
wait for
listening at
Logan to come
home,
back,
some stuff happened. Some technical difficulties.
nothing unusual for us, I guess.
Like I
Yeah.
told you, I am bad luck.
I didn't have my emergency 3-person setup ready. Anyway,
Uh-oh. Yeah, that also prompted me to go back and watch the original Thundercats because I grew up with the 80s cartoons. Like a lot of those 80 cartoons I grew up with, and I'm like, okay, that shows the times. I don't know why I liked this when I was a kid, but
I've
it's
heard
there.
that from a lot of people that maybe Thundercats wasn't great when it started.
It's entirely possible.
Mhm.
I'm really wondering, like, with the 2011 series, like, can they still like appeal to children with that style of like that serious tone? Because you've seen this happen to a lot of different shows where like you had a very serious incarnation, they come back with kind of like that, well, the exact style they had for the new Thundercats.
Mhm.
It doesn't necessarily appeal to us, but I mean, is that like what kids nowadays are into? Can they watch a serious
Roar
show?
definitely looks like a product of the era.
Yeah, Go ahead.
That definitely seems to be what appeals to the generations after us. And in my opinion, what's happening to us right now is what happened to our parents when we started watching cartoons. It's our era began, and they saw theirs ending, and they got upset, and now it's happening to us, and now we're getting upset. We lost Teen Titans, now Teen Titans Go is out, and despite how I enjoy that show, I know a lot of people don't.
Right.
It's not targeted at us because we are unfortunately no longer the age group that they are trying to hit in their demographics. So that's what's happening to Roar. And I think you might have a point there, Paul, with the serious shows, because, you look at all the serious shows on Cartoon Network, and they're during the Adult Swim Toonami block, which is, again, it's not targeted at us because it's on Adult Swim. So
Yeah, and I think Adventure Time and regular because that was just wacky, insane cartoon.
Yeah, they're getting to a level of silly that we are not used to.
Right.
Like for Teen Titans Go, I was gonna give it a chance, but not for me.
I still will at some point. I just haven't gotten there yet.
You can jump in kind of whenever, just watch an off episode. There's value there that I like as a Teen Titans fan.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
But
but when the first episode you jump into is the waffle episode, that's the.
I think I know what episode you're talking about, and I remember a lot of yelling in that one.
There was like waffles, waffles, waffles. I can only handle so many waffles.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Thundercats, or what else did you watch this week?
That's about it.
All right, Paul, since Logan is gone, we'll throw it in your corner.
I actually had one last thought on Thundercats before I start, and it was when you mentioned that they moved it to Saturday morning and how it's a dead zone. I think there was actually a strategy to that might have failed, but it was an idea. That the generation before us, you woke up and you watched cartoons Saturday morning. So I'm wondering if they were trying to appeal to those people and feel nostalgia to get people there Saturday morning to watch.
I got to refute that because I never watched Saturday morning cartoons because I was never awake.
I think it was more.
I watched Saturday morning cartoons all the time,
but I did too. I remember waking up at 3 a.m. on Saturdays because I just couldn't sleep because I was so excited to wake up and go watch my Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, I was lucky sometimes to wake up in time to catch Kirby right back at you.
Such a good show.
But more often than not, I did not. Despite being dubbed by 4 kids, there is a lot of value in that dub, I think.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It's a fun show.
Well, getting into the stuff I actually watched.
Go for it.
I'm still. I've caught up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and holy crap, that last season! They really continued to get better as they went, and I don't know how they did it, but that's a very hilarious, very impressive show. Logan, you just looked up what is he talking about? He's crazy. I disagree.
No, I've seen at least the first season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I'm actually a big Andy Samberg fan. So just hearing that it got canceled, I was like, no, I was gonna watch that show eventually. You can't cancel it yet.
That whole ordeal got it enough in front of my face and interested me enough in just the few clips that I saw floating around that I just broke down and watched it.
And that's all on Hulu too. So if you have Hulu, there's no excuse, right?
I started and I couldn't stop.
There's too many
Clearly,
things
if you're already
to watch on a daily basis.
It's 5 seasons in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. It's good.
So
before we move on, Logan, do you want to tell the viewers what you did?
Yeah. So I did a few things this week. Thanks for asking, everybody.
Not what
I'm
you
so
did.
glad.
The part where you disappeared.
Oh.
You gave us that sinister smile.
Let me tell you about my life story, okay? No.
Is it cold winter more?
I accidentally hit the breaker on my power strip. Which my computer and everything else was connected to. So whatever was happening, it all just went black, and I was like, dang it.
We were left on a image of you smiling
Well, I'm glad that's the image that got stuck.
It could have been a cardboard cutout of you, and I think it would have been believable.
I should do that. I should get myself a full body shot and then get a print and then get some cardboard and make yourself like a
Honestly,
cardboard cutout,
like-
and then I'll just put myself places. Right? Bye, guys. I'm leaving cardboard Logan here.
Honestly, though, like
Logan
whenever you get up, just in case you forget and don't come back, you should just start leaving one in your chair.
At least give us something to look at.
Be right back. Here's my replacement.
So what
So I
else
still
you got,
have
Paul?
that. So I also decided to go back and I'd seen seasons 1 through 6 of Game of Thrones. I've been meaning to go back and rewatch them all and then like carry through to season 7, which I haven't seen. And so I started season 1 again, and I hate myself already because like I've already feel myself getting attached to characters that I've finally come to terms with the fact that they die. And now I have to lose
All
them
of them
over
die.
again.
Every single one of
Basically.
them dies.
Like I have to watch all of these characters die again, and I'm just I think I made a mistake.
You have to watch them die again.
Yeah, it took me a really long time for some of these characters to get over it. I actually might have never gotten over it.
Paul, do you need therapy?
Yes, but that's unrelated. But I got a little bit of it in the other show I watched, the last show I watched this week. My sister was visiting me again last weekend, and we returned to that Hallmark series that I started earlier on the podcast.
Okay.
When Calls the Heart. And I hate myself for loving this show as much as I do. Like, it should not have
this
hooked
show,
me.
but I do, and I'm angry about it.
It should not have hooked me as hard as it did, but like some of the drama and stuff that like happens in there, I found myself like really like overreacting to it. Like, no way, they did not just do that. That did not happen.
I think that's the whole point, right? You know, that's the point they want you to get to. They want you to be like, I'm so into this that I would think that this is all actually happening.
This week, I've had daytime television on while I've been in my edit suite working on stuff at work.
So you know exactly what I'm going through.
I know exactly what you're going through because I've been watching The Bold and the Beautiful. And there was like this really intense moment where this guy and this girl, they were getting married, and his brother was off to the side. He was sweating, and he went up to give his best man speech, but he knew that their dad had secretly like lured the brother away from his actual lover who was having his child, and he was about to marry another woman, and he knew that the dad was doing that. He's like, I gotta tell him, but they're about to get married. And I was like, is he gonna tell him? Is he gonna tell him? He told him. And then they did get married.
Wow. Did it cause a bunch of drama?
Oh my god. That took like 3 episodes to happen, by the way.
It's kind of odd because it's not quite that intense. It's more of like, when are these two people going to get together? Like, there's always something awful that's going to happen, but it kind of like Full House, where it resolves nicely at the end of the episode to a degree.
And then everybody hugs with string instruments in the background.
Exactly. There might be like 1 or 2 like bits of drama that carry over just to keep it interesting and keep you coming back. But it's not quite like that heavy. So it's the right balance for me. It really balanced out like the Game of Thrones. That was my counterbalance.
That counter mood.
When Calls the Heart.
Not so many people die in this show.
So if you got Netflix and you hate yourself,
hey,
When
I
Calls the
qualify.
When Calls the Heart. Yeah, that's it for me this week.
All right, Logan, what do you got for movies and TV?
Okay, I'm ready for this.
Do
Are
it.
you guys ready?
I'm ready.
So I had a
ready.
really exciting week when it comes to movies and TV. I watched a whole... Well, one I didn't even watch because it's over, and I'm just like reminiscing about it and kind of depressed that it got canceled. So obviously that would be The Last Man on Earth, which I've talked about
but I've
a few
forgotten.
times. And that got canceled. And I want it to get picked up. You know, I want somebody.
It's never too late.
I want at least like some sort of proper ending, right?
Yeah, I know exactly how it feels to be invested in a series for a while only to never get a conclusion. That happened with Samurai Jack. only then to then years later finally get a conclusion.
Right.
So many of the animated DC like cartoons growing up.
Yeah.
They're why I have trust issues.
Yeah. So I hope some kind soul at some network goes, I really like that show, and I think we could make it a success. We could have realistic expectations and allow Will Forte to finish his arc. Outside of that, I think it's more the same. I didn't watch like a ton of new stuff. I watched more Bob's Burgers, went back and watched a few episodes that I'd seen before. That show's so good. Mm-hmm. I say it every time I talk about it. Go watch Bob's Burgers if you haven't. I know you guys don't really watch Bob's Burgers, but it's such an easy watch, and it's so clever. It's the writing's so good. The dialogue is so good. Like, the writers just know exactly what they're doing with that show, and it's so good.
Maybe someday that'll happen for me.
The only other thing I have to mention is probably a movie that I'm going to make my roommate watch tonight that he's never seen before.
Call Me by Your Name?
No. Troll 2.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll talk a little bit about this one because I thought about it a good bit earlier today. This movie's kind of genius. Okay, it's called Troll 2. Okay, it is not the sequel to any movie. It is framed as a sequel to a movie that it has nothing to do with.
It's a classic.
So, yeah, right. But that's the funny part, right? It's quite literally a troll. You know? It's like, oh, you thought. I mean, I don't think a lot of people fell for it because it did awful anyway. But the working title, it was called Goblins, and then at the last moment they were like, we're going to call it Troll 2 so people think it's a sequel to this movie that nobody knows about anyway. They're like, oh yeah, Troll 2, I really enjoyed that one fantasy film. I'm going to enjoy Troll 2, and they did not get what they were coming for.
Amazing.
So I am going to take a trip to the town of Nilbog, hopefully here in a few hours, and you should too, because it's a great B movie. Mm-hmm. It's bring lots of friends, get the popcorn out, get 5 or 6 other people, turn down the lights, and talk during the entire movie.
But viewers, you should wait until after the Mario Tennis stream I'm doing after the show, just so you know.
That's what Logan's gonna wait for before he goes and gets a copy.
Well, I was thinking I wasn't even gonna get a copy. I was just gonna rent it, you know.
Good answer.
That's what I do on Amazon.
Yep.
Anything else this week?
No, sir. That's it for me for movies and TV.
We'll swing on over into the anime section of the breakdown.
Anime.
To kick things off, My Hero Academia.
Whoa, we all watched that.
That's a good show.
Hey, Midoriya.
So
Ace, are you keeping up too?
I'm actually just on the second episode.
Okay, so we won't talk spoilers.
It was better than the last few episodes. Not that the last few episodes are bad, but this one struck a chord.
Nice change of pace too.
Yeah.
And they're doing like those things I was worried about. You know, it doing some things that other anime have done. It looks like that won't be happening, and I'm very happy.
Yes.
So
they showed like the intentions and the motivations of certain characters, and then you realize like you can kind of anticipate how these characters are going to act based on this new knowledge, these new proclamations that they've made.
Mm-hmm. Also, we got some very beautiful potential alt costumes for the game.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I really hope those are in there. I really hope.
Midoriya was cracking me up in that second half of that episode. Like, they were really selling it with the animation in that one. That performance was fantastic.
It was like the characters, you know, some of them got too serious about the acting, and it was just over the top.
Ida's so dumb. I love it. He's so stiff. Like, he was just Ida, but saying different words.
Right.
So yeah, My Hero Academia is great as always. Can't wait for more of this season. It's going.
I can't wait to see what the series finale is.
Oh, geez, I wonder what it could be. I have no idea.
On top of that, I've still been keeping up with Boruto. We're still approaching the end of the movie arc. I look forward to getting to that because I just want to know what happens next. Did this with
Did
Dragon
it slow
Ball
down
Super?
a bit, or
Well, it's not that they're slowing down. It's like they're adding in details and things we didn't see during the course of the movie that I would say are valuable. There's going to be a battle that takes place during a particular tournament that did not happen in the movie that we'll get to see in the anime that I actually look forward to. They've been building up towards it. So that'll be neat. So yeah, Boruto, like I said, it's not even close as strong as like Naruto was, but for a long, or almost like lifelong fan, half-lifelong fan, there's value there for me, personally. I know a lot of people have dropped off, and I certainly think it's okay if you have. Naruto, the end of Naruto Shippuden is a great place to stop. If you want to stop there, feel free.
Well, I feel like you should go
See
to
the movie.
Boruto, see the movie.
Yeah.
And then, like, that's a good place to just call it.
Boruto, the movie, is the definitive end of that saga, and they make it very clear. I only cried to that movie a million times in the theaters.
800 times.
On top of that,
we were weepy boys.
yeah, seriously, I could hear people crying in the theater during particular scenes.
Just people wailing in the background, falling into each other.
Dude, that was 12 years of emotions building up, like to
drove
like a
like 4
climax.
hours to go see that.
Some of those men have never
It
cried.
was like 2 hours to go see that, but still
yeah.
like 4 hours both ways.
It was worth it. It was definitely worth it. Also, Shokugeki no Soma. This part.
I didn't watch it this week.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Well, I won't talk about story details, but man,
I didn't watch it this week either.
Logan, you're running out of time. We're gonna have Roger here in a month, and you need to be done.
He's got to watch.
Welcome to the
Fighting
Shokugeki
Foodies
no
or-
Soma episode. This Logan, he doesn't know a single thing about Shokugeki, except there's food involved.
No, Logan, you got to watch that other show we were talking about last week.
Fighting Foodons.
Yeah, that.
Oh my
I tried to
God.
look it up. I couldn't find it.
You couldn't
Oh,
find
dang.
Fighting Foodons.
We'll have to find it for you. 'Cause you definitely need to binge that and then come to the discussion about Shokugeki no Soma.
Ace, you look like you have a
Fighting
history with Fighting Foodons.
Yeah, I do. I remember watching that. I'm sure if I dug around, I have boxes of my own foodons that I drew
Oh, that's
when I
awesome.
was little. I remember making like a McDonald's one for sure.
The internet needs to see these things, man.
If I can find them, I will post them on Twitter.
Please, I would love
No,
that.
make a whole video about it. Hey guys, these are my fighting foodons. that I made when
My
I was,
OC Fighting Foodons, don't
12
steal.
years old. Look how fighting they were. They do so many food on things.
Oh my god. I love it. Absolutely love it.
I just remember the look on my mom's face when I showed her the show, like the first episode she saw. She's like, "What the hell?
Is this really happening right now?
Why is my
You know
son watching food beat things up?"
Yeah, that was definitely a product of the early 2000s. So yeah, Shokugeki no Soma. We're definitely like on an up curve in terms of hype momentum in this part of the season. Like it is definitely getting better and better by every episode. I can't wait to see how this season ends. It's getting really good.
I can't wait. I'm just waiting for the point where their food goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna be the best part.
You know, in a lot of cases, it feels like the people go Super Saiyan. But I can't talk about that because this is not a PG-13 show.
Oh,
Yeah, there's some.
wait a minute.
You might want to be careful where you watch the show and who you watch it with. Is what I
Don't
was
watch
saying.
it with
in
your
the middle of
parents.
Watch it with your parents. Do
Watch it with the sound on
Paul
at
said.
I dare you to watch it with your parents and stream it.
Okay, I'm down. Let's do it.
Get a million hits.
At least that first
Honestly,
episode.
Oh,
Watch it with your grandma.
Oh my
Stream,
god.
Okay,
stream it with
I draw the line at my
I can't see the screen. Can you get my glasses?
You're sparing your grandma of this one. Might have to turn off the hearing aid if there's one involved.
Just that sweet
doesn't need
sound
another
of
heart attack.
tinnitus.
No. Definitely not. So, Ace, will throw it in your corner. Did you watch any anime this week?
My Hero Academia. That's it.
Well, did we get your thoughts on this week's episode?
I haven't gotten that far.
Oh, right. That's what you said. See,
Talk about the most recent
What are your thoughts
episode.
on episode 2?
yeah, tell us that.
I'm pretty sure it's episode 2. It's where they get to the camp. I'm pretty sure. I kind of was jumping back and forth between editing and watching the show. I think it was, yeah, the one where they got to the camp, and there's cat people. And
Okay, so you're in season 3. I missed that part.
yeah, I'm in season 3, and I just see them fighting giant rock monsters. Where did these even come from? And then as it went on, it's like, oh wait, that one has the ability to control Earth and make these things. Yeah, and that little kid, I am so in.
Coda?
Yes.
Just wait. Just
You need to watch
wait.
more, man. I want to hear what you
Just
think.
wait. Tell us if was it in 2 episodes or is it the next episode?
It's very close.
Yeah.
It's like the next 2 episodes. Let us know, and make sure you just watched it so we can see your like bawling face
I will do that.
once you finish that episode.
So I like your
Crying.
shirt, by the way.
My shirt?
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
It's a good My Hero.
came prepared.
Academia
you
shirt.
did come prepared.
I did. You can find this one and probably All Might at Hot Topic.
Good
I
to
know for
know.
a fact, though. They'll be
Not
there.
a sponsor.
Not a
Hot anime topic.
So
But Brandon
Logan,
is going to Hot Topic list.
Logan, you watched an anime this week. I've been wanting to start.
Yes!
Tell us a little bit about
Yes!
that.
Yes! 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 Yes!
He's not excited. I don't
Yes!
think he likes it very much.
Okay.
Back away,
So,
Ace. This is it's gonna get ugly.
If you like anime and you like action and you like shonen and you like boxing and if you like fun,
Hold on.
you're gonna love this show. You're gonna love this show. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's
I might
pretty
like
much
boxing.
Rocky the anime, except better. It's better than Rocky.
I don't know
Okay,
if it's
yeah.
Megalobox or Megalobox.
I'm going to fight you for that.
I don't. Yeah, I say Megalobox, but Megalobox sounds better. So let's go with
Megalobox
the-
would be Japanese.
Megalobox.
So
Right,
I don't know.
right.
Megalo.
And it's this anime that like okay, so it's all about the sport of boxing, megaloboxing, and they're punching each other, but they have like mechanics on their arms and machines on their arms to
So it's
kind of
real
like
steel.
assist them. And yeah, so it's real steel, except it's cooler because there's an underdog
Is
who
there a spring
doesn't
man?
use any gear.
Spring
If there's a boxing, like anything to do with boxing, and there's not an underdog, they're not doing a boxing story, right?
Right. And they had
Yeah, pretty much.
it's got the entire package, man. There was one episode, there was a training montage, and I was like,
Oh.
yes!
I live for that stuff,
Of course
dude.
there's
Did
a
they run up the
training
stairs?
montage.
They're up the
Ah,
stairs.
it was so good. I can't remember if there was stairs, but they had the kind of like the upbeat music, and then
Mm-hmm.
it was the montage, and they're doing all these different things.
And then
it's-
Doc
oh.
Lewis showed up and started eating a candy bar. Came, stole his bike.
So, it's so good. It's ongoing. It's only 9 episodes in. There's a simul cast on Crunchyroll every week. So I'm all caught up with that, you know.
And
Now
it's,
that I'm like keeping up with all these different shows, it's really disappointing to go on. It's like, when's the next episode? It's not up yet.
That's why you gotta watch shows that like drop episodes on different days of the week.
Well, Megalobox and My Hero drop on different days of the week.
There you go.
So,
It's the
you
same
know,
with my,
a few days ago,
my
I got
shows.
to sit down, and it's like, oh, there's the 9th episode of Megalobox.
There's a better solution though. When you get done and you're like, "Where's the next episode?" You stop and you go watch Shokugeki no Soma instead.
Yeah, I just
Hey.
need more anime, right?
I mean, I meant fighting Foodons. My bad.
So for those
Can
of you
there
who
be a
don't know,
crossover episode? Can we get a crossover episode, please?
Megalobox is a spiritual successor to a show called Ashita no Joe, which is a classic boxing manga / anime, and I believe this is being produced by the same people who worked on that series.
Yes.
I don't believe it. I don't know if it has any story relations to it. They haven't really said whether it does or not.
They have some references. The main character, you know, he gets his title as Joe, Gearless Joe, So that's definitely a reference.
Maybe
to-
this is
to
like
that
set in the very, very, very far future of Ashita no Joe. So if you are a fan of Ashita no Joe, this is probably for you. So definitely check it out. I've been wanting to watch this.
It's just super good. It's
Yeah.
just watch it. The animation is so good. The style is so good, and it's only 9 episodes currently.
Not a big
So if you start
commitment.
catching up now, then you can just watch an episode a week.
There you go. Any other anime for you this week?
None that I should mention. Let's go on.
Okay. I'm going to throw that in Paul's corner then. We're just going to spin our wheels a little bit here.
Well, all right. So I actually don't even remember doing this, but I did watch this week's Steins Gate Zero and Black Clover, and so I'm guessing that like it wasn't as great of episodes because I did it without even realizing it.
Kind of like an afterthought.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Steins Gate probably was better episode. I just, for the life of me, I don't know what I watched. This week has just been a blur.
We
of
mentioned
E3 hype.
therapy earlier in this episode.
It's the E3 hype, man. I can't think
Yeah.
straight anymore.
Mhm.
I got like hype just pulsing through my blood.
I can't handle this anymore, Paul. I'm right there with you.
I know.
Gonna freeze myself. Make the time go
I
faster.
probably like while I was watching both of those episodes, I was probably like obsessively like refreshing Twitter, waiting for Pokemon news. Because I'm pretty sure I watched it at like the beginning of the week, and so I've been waiting all week for Pokemon news, which finally came. But
It
so that's
did.
anyway for
Finally
this week.
got it. We never thought we were gonna get it.
Was that
but
really
we
it
knew
for
it
you,
was
Paul?
coming.
Yep,
Wow.
it was a short week for me this.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I guess we'll jump.
My favorite anime is the Pokemon video games.
That's a great anime. I like Cory in the House too. Jumping away from meminess, we'll talk about the games we've been playing this week. For those of you who are new to the channel, I know there's quite a few of you right now. If you were here last weekend, we did a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe live stream. In fact, Ace was also there for that, and that's actually when we invited him onto this stream. We decided to do it there, just get out of the way and be like, hey, you want to join? Now here he is.
Hey, he's here. Let's just ask him. Hey.
And the reason I wanted to bring this up, for one, it was a lot of fun playing with you guys. I had a blast, and I hope you guys did too.
Oh yeah.
It definitely seemed like you guys were having fun, so thanks for doing that. We're definitely going to be having more coming up here soon. We're planning right now on one the week after E3, because E3 is just going to be too hectic for us, so we got a lot to focus on here. So definitely look forward more to that. But Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it's been a while since I picked this game up. I had like 35 hours since before the tournament, and now I have almost 50. I put a lot of time into Mario Kart 8. I've just been enjoying myself. I forgot how fun of a game it is. Logan, you and I, one night, we just played for 6 hours straight online together.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I think that's the thing about some of these games. A lot of online multiplayer, and so it's easy to keep playing a game when you're already having a conversation with friends.
Yeah.
And then you're also laughing about all the stuff, the crazy things that happen during any given race. And I'm in first the entirety of the race, and then I get hit with the shell, and all of a sudden I'm in eighth. There's just moments like that that make that kind of shared experience really valuable, and that's something that Mario Kart brings out of us. If these games didn't make us rage, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, Mario Party, they probably wouldn't be as near and dear to our hearts as they are.
Yeah, I feel that.
So, yeah, playing this game, it's only good for my mental health when I'm playing with friends.
Yeah, so with that in mind, I'm probably going to put some more time into Mario Kart 8. I'm just really into it right now. It might also be the anticipation of Star Fox Grand Prix. Hoping that game is real, because I've already been sold on the idea.
That'd be a grand lie.
Yeah, wouldn't it? So once again, thanks guys for joining that. We'll be doing more. Had a lot of fun. I also been playing more Xenoblade 2, just working my way through the story. I'm 15 or 16 hours deep right now. Really enjoying it. I got to thank Roger I think Roger was the catalyst He was the reason that I pulled the trigger.
Pulling for Rex and Pyra.
Yeah, I mean,
The two objectively worst choices for characters in a Super Smash Bros. Game to date.
Wow, Logan, 5 hours deep, and I was already like completely invested in Rex and Pyra as characters.
I'm like 3 hours deep.
They're bad characters. What can I say? I've played none of the game, and I just know it already.
Coming from a Xenoblade fan.
I know.
If you come back later,
I was playing
first thing you gotta subscribe so you can come back later, find out when me, Brandon, and Logan are having a battle royale to settle this in Smash.
There you
Backslash.
go. Backslash.
Backslash.
What a bunch of jokers. So yeah, still enjoying Xenoblade 2. I want to get this game done like before E3 because like this is a big meaty game and it's going to take like my full attention to get through it. Other than that, I've been playing some VR games. If you see my little base station up there.
Me too.
I started playing Beat Saber.
Beat Saber.
For those of you who don't know, Beat Saber is a rhythm game where you stand in place and these different colored cubes, a red cube and blue cubes, will fly towards you with arrows on them, and you have two swords with corresponding colors. And you have to attack the cubes in the direction that the arrow points on the cubes to break them to score points and stay alive. And it all happens to the beat of the music. And it is incredibly like immersive and one of the best VR experiences I have ever had, hands down.
That's true 3D gaming right there.
I mean, well, the game is designed around VR in the first place, which not a lot of games really are. So that was the first thing they did right. Second thing they did right is it's just the haptic feedback and just the experience you get from actually swinging the sword feels so good. Like the core gameplay feels so good that I just had to keep playing. There's only 8 songs like in the game natively, but they're really, really solid tracks. Like when you get the headphones on, you get into the beat of the music. And obviously there are ways to add custom songs, though not all of them.
Tons of custom songs.
They're not
some
all
very
of them.
memey ones.
Not all of them are of great quality.
But there are a few. There are some gems. There are some gems though.
Yeah, the top downloaded song is "Believer," Imagine Dragons, and that actual course, whoever designed it knew exactly what they were doing because like the special effects that they added to it, really solid in a great VR experience. Most of the time, you'll find that the custom song people are really generic. They make them too hard and not very fun to play. So yeah, there's that.
But the best one, do you know what the best custom song is?
It's Bake a Cake, the Lazy Town song.
No!
Well, Logan's wrong.
It's Rasputin! It's Rasputin! Have you not played Rasputin?
I haven't, but I have played Lazy
download
Town.
Rasputin. Download Rasputin. Best song on Beat Saber. Official
say the
slogan.
Pirates or whatever.
Best song of Beat Saber all over the box art.
If We Were a Pirate or was in Beat Saber or someone had done that, I'd definitely be playing that. But the reason I love the Lazy Town song so much is the fact that it's like a Lil Jon remix. So like,
that sounds amazing.
So like after like the first verse, he comes in with the chorus and starts rapping, but they're like all like maybe inappropriate things to say about women, but it's in reference to like to the main character of Lazy Town. And I didn't realize this when I downloaded it. I legitimately downloaded it because I thought it was just a Lazy Town song, and I was like, that's going to be fun to play. But no, like halfway through the song, like Lil Jon comes in, he starts rapping, and I was like, oh, that's that kind of music. Here we are.
Oh my gosh, talking about just like a few Beat Saber experiences, there was one. They have one that's the Nani. I can't remember what's the quote. Brandon, you could probably do it if you knew it.
Oh my wa Moshinderu?
Uh-huh.
Oh my wa.
So it was literally just that and then like a few notes. And then there was one that was just called Higher Ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the audio was the scene, from Revenge of the Sith. And then all the motions are in time with the actions on the screen.
That's amazing.
So I was like, okay, I just cut off Anakin's legs and arms.
That's fantastic.
Like a 45-second track.
I gotta look that one up. That's meaning to the next level. Oh my god.
That one, yeah. Yeah, it was like they're not even concerned about the rhythm at this point. It's just following along.
The gameplay in Beat Saber is like really easy to understand and get into. Like the tutorial is all of like 35 seconds long. There's some things you can dodge, and like there's spiky ball things that your swords can't cross over with. Otherwise, you'll lose health and points. But it's been really fun. I've beaten every song on hard and even a couple on expert, so I'm getting pretty good at this. But there are some songs on expert that make me want to tear my hair out, because when the notes or like the cubes are coming at you, they're so close together you can't see the arrows on the cubes behind them. You just have to know. So it's going to take some practice.
Are you specifically talking about like the custom ones, or does this happen?
No, some of like the burned in ones or built-in games songs.
Yeah. Sometimes they do that, and it's like kind of assumed like if I just went down, then I'm gonna go up and down kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that kind of makes sense.
But it's not always like that, which is the issue.
Yeah, sometimes it's like completely like unfair. Like, why would you design it in this way? What's your logic?
I would persuade anyone with a VR headset or an HTC Vive, get Beat Saber. It might be the best VR game you can get right now, or one of the best. By far.
One of the best. I think there are different categories of like best VR. Like, what kind of experience are you looking for?
Sure.
So it really depends.
On top of that, I've been playing Sprint Vector. And for those of you who don't know, that is a free-running racing game in VR where you swing your arms back and forth to run. You run in the direction that you look. You can fly and glide and jump, and there's all these hand motions that are involved with it. It's a workout. And after my first race, I was heaving for air. Just because I wasn't expecting like how rigorous it would be.
It's really involved.
So like if you're looking for a good workout game that's like really in depth, because the mechanics are really strong and work really well, level designs might not be the best. That might be the only thing that I don't like right yet. But it's really fun. The first few seconds I was getting really dizzy because, you know, the sense of speed is really high. But I got over it pretty quickly, and I think I've been enjoying myself. Logan, next time you're at home, we should play that one together, too.
Yeah, the fact that I bought it, like, the first time, and I was like, okay, I'm just buying this for you. You got to play it. The fact that we haven't played it together is kind of a crime.
Yeah.
That and Climbing.
That's true. But we'll definitely get to those. Our friend Alvin is buying a VR headset right now. He's already got a couple games lined up. So I'll soon have someone else to play with for once. VR is a lot more fun with friends, as it turns out.
A lot more fun.
That's all I've played this week. Ace, I'll throw it in your corner.
Oh man, I played a lot this week. I guess I should mention just like the first game that I've just been constantly playing. I haven't put this game out or down since I got it about 6 months after it came out, and obviously Overwatch. I love Overwatch so much.
Very nice.
It's almost like you like it so much that you'd be willing to purchase merchandise that you would put on your head.
Maybe. And also on my body. And also
I don't see it.
My wall of pops. I mean, I wasn't very sure about this game when it came out, but it's so addicting, and it's the reason that I play it a lot is because I have a lot of friends who play it, which is a shame because I really want to play Splatoon 2 because I love both games for the same reason. It's a lot of fun with friends. But they're doing their second anniversary right now, and all of the events that they've done in the past are back. All of the costumes are back that you can unlock.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. And they cycle through those different events, I think once every day for one event, and then maybe a couple different ones every few days. But I've been playing that a lot as of late. I've also been playing, going way back, Conquer Live and Reloaded, which is the remake to Conquer's Bad Fur Day. I love Conquer's Bad Fur Day. I love Live and Reloaded too. I don't understand the hate for it though.
Oh, I think it's just because it was like not a new game, you know?
Well, the one thing I know that I've heard is that the multiplayer changed a bit, but I don't know to what extent.
Yeah, it did. It was more focused on like Call of Duty, Halo style,
Oh, okay.
but in third person. I think that was the biggest negative response I've heard from the game. Other than maybe they censored a few of the swears, but
Which is strange, like being on an Xbox.
I know.
You'd think it'd be the other way around.
Yeah, I wonder if Microsoft and Rare would be opposed to having like a true like modern remake for Conquer, kind of righting the wrongs of that last remake and then bringing it into the forefront. Obviously, we got a Crash Bandicoot trilogy remake, and now we're getting the Spyro remake, so maybe Conquer is next.
Yeah, we get Conquer Let's Go Fur Day and Conquer Let's Go 12 Tails, and there you go.
We're gonna get Conquer right alongside the Banjo-Kazooie trilogy.
Can we get Conquer for Smash? Did you guys know there's a Super Smash Bros. Game coming to Nintendo?
Really? I had no idea.
I'm completely shocked, and I don't even believe you. We'll see at E3, Logan.
That's gonna be the first
Time will
Pokemon
tell.
game on the Switch.
That's his final
First
Smash.
Pokemon game is Super Smash.
The whole reason I'm playing this game again is because it's actually backwards compatible on the Xbox One now,
Okay.
which is all I'm using my Xbox One for anymore is backwards compatibility.
It's good
Yeah.
reason though.
It is. Just love it. Just love it. If you haven't played it, you should probably play. It's $10 on Xbox Marketplace if you have an Xbox.
No, yeah, that's what, a day's worth of lunch and maybe dinner.
Pretty much. It's a better deal than what I paid for my physical copy. God of War 2018 is another one I'm playing.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Great game.
So good. I'm on my second playthrough on the hardest difficulty, and I'm kicking myself for it. But at the same time, it's so fun. I can't find really much of a negative thing to say about this game.
There really isn't anything negative to
There's
say.
not, and it's funny because I was never the biggest fan of the original God of War games. I played through God of War 1 fully. God of War 2, I think I made it halfway through, and God of War 3, I got to Poseidon, and that's it.
I didn't even play any of the original trilogy. Like, this is the first one for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even touch the last one, which was, God, I can't even remember the name of it.
Ascension?
Yeah.
Ascension.
Yeah, that one I haven't even touched. Neither the PSP games either, but this one is probably up there for my game of the year. If you haven't played it, what are you doing with your life? Seriously.
Yeah.
I do have one criticism for the game. So usually I'm trying to get places, and I'm so accustomed in other games just being able to climb everything that I'm kind of disappointed that I can't climb everything in this game. So I'm gonna have to dock Santa Monica a few points for that.
They should probably also add like these single isolated challenges you can use as warp points, maybe like 100, 120 of them.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the biggest like complaint I have is that there wasn't a sequel released immediately following.
I know. I wanted so much more as soon as I was done. I was like, I'm not ready to say goodbye to this game yet.
But we're getting another one. There's no way we're not.
We're getting 5 more, from what I understand.
5 more?
Yeah, I guess it's rumored that there's 5 more planned. Whatever they may be, it'll probably lead up to maybe following Atreus, because Kratos isn't going to be around forever.
We're gonna be in our 40s, and here's the final game, gents.
On our PS7s.
Cory Barlog is still like working at it, like 70, 80 years old. Like,
how much more mythology can they draw from?
Well,
though,
in the game, if you know, I think it's like a story-driven cutscene. It shows symbols of different gods of wars, so they could go from Norse to maybe Egyptian, Japanese.
Well, that's the thing is they already went from like Greek, and then all
Kill all
of a
those
sudden
gods.
North mythology.
I have a feeling like we'll probably spend a significant amount of time with each one, much like we did the first one. Maybe not as long, but maybe like 5 or 6 years in a mythology before we move on to another one. I think that'd probably be a good way to handle that.
Yeah.
So it's not as jarring every time it changes.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully it's a natural progression into the next one.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, I'm pretty sure at the end of 3, Kratos is killed, but
There's like a post-credit scene where you see that he's not dead.
yeah, but I want to know what happened in between that. Gosh dang
There's
it.
still room to tell that story. Maybe with some DLC?
I want to see
Or another game.
Yes, prequel to that. I would have liked to see him wife and
His waifu
his wife
and their adventures.
God of
His
War,
very
his
crispy
waifu and their
waifu.
adventures.
the waifu saga.
God of waifus.
God of
Figured
waifu.
it out. God of waifus.
Husbando of waifu. Daddy boy.
Won't really go much into Mario Kart 8, but playing with you guys really brought me back into it because I haven't touched it since I got it for the Switch.
That's what it's for. It's for coming back to. That's what Mario Kart's for.
Evergreen
It's like
title.
I haven't had that much fun with Mario Kart because every time that if I play Mario plays, they're over here, and we play it for 20 minutes and we get bored for whatever reason. I think it's mostly because that's all my fiance wants to play is Mario Kart.
Do you guys yell at each other when you play it? Because it makes it a
Yes.
lot more exciting.
There's a lot of things said that we both are like, wow, why did I say that to you? Afterwards.
You know why you said it. It's because it's Mario Kart.
I think
It cuts
another
deeper
thing,
than anything
too,
else.
It's like, when we were all playing together, we had like a real big group, and it was it felt more like a community. So I could see like maybe playing with 1 or 2 other people probably wouldn't be as fun as playing in a bigger group like that. Maybe.
I think it's also the problem that I win every time. Practically every time. It gets boring.
You need the competition, man.
What was Jason? What was
It's
the
Jerry.
name of the kid?
Super Jerry.
Jerry showed up and just destroyed all of us.
I know.
It's kind of amazing.
If he hadn't gotten kicked out of the last match, I would have not won.
Wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
You didn't
Because
win.
you guys ended
It's
up with the
still him.
same amount.
Yeah, we tied technically, but we gave him the win because he deserved it.
Absolutely.
He did.
And he got his prize, right? We sent him his prize.
Self-affirmation.
Good job.
Woo! Go
Pat on
you.
the back.
And Resident Evil 7. I heard it was being streamed from the Switch.
Cloud version.
Yeah, I was going to make a Japanese account and attempt to play it, but from what I've seen, it wasn't even worth trying. So
I want to say the game actually kicks you out after a few minutes.
Yeah.
It says, "Hey, maybe you're not from Japan, so get out."
probably.
You're not welcome here.
But I have it for the PS4, and I played it off and on, and that's the first Resident Evil game I played, and it is so good. Like, horror games are my jam.
I've been waiting for like the right price drop to pick that game up. I've been debating between PS4 and PC because they're adding HTC Vive support to that. But at the same time, I'm like terrified of playing that game in VR to begin with. So like if I get it on
all the more reason
PS4, I'll probably actually finish it. If I get it on PC, I'll probably poop my pants and never finish the game.
Wear a diaper.
There you go. That's the right answer.
Like, me in horror, I don't get scared that easily. Like, nothing about that bothers me, but this game just freaks me out. It's like, I play it with the lights off, and just the way everything's set up, and the dad in that game, he's funny, but at the same time, he's that terrifying funny, where you don't know if you want to laugh or you just want to cry. Just want to sit and cry. But that level where he comes in, he kills a cop, and he's driving around in your car. He's like, "You want to go drive?" And he tries to kill you with the car. It's like, what?
Are you a real person?
Why do you find this funny? Can I go home, please? But yeah, it's one of the best horror games I've played. And I really hope Resident Evil 8 follows through with that. I'm debating going back to the other games. Yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Nice. And who do we got left? Logan? Paul?
I haven't talked. Well, yeah, both of us. Paul, go ahead.
Oh,
I want to hear your sweet voice talk.
Tell me
Well, I don't
sweet
have a whole lot
nothings.
to talk about. I was playing that Mario Kart 8. We've already talked about that. It was fun. It's been a long time since I've actually like popped that game into my Switch and played it.
Mm-hmm.
It dethroned Splatoon 2 for like the first time in a long time. It was the first time I pulled that cart back out. And
Impressive.
so it's good because I just haven't gotten playtime in Deluxe yet, and so I was really happy to get that in there and get my butt kicked.
Get your
Some
money's
time with
worth.
friends, man.
Exactly. I also popped in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for a little bit. I'm still nowhere near as far as you are yet.
I'm not as far as either of you.
Look at you go, Logan. You're killing it.
Same.
I put a couple more hours in, and I was just mostly grinding and dying, and then grinding some more and dying again.
Always pop that
I'm good.
difficulty down to easy.
I probably will before too long.
It doesn't punish you. Like, you can bring it back up later again.
I can dig that. I like when games do that.
Freedom.
Leave it like open-ended for you.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'm good here and I suck here, but then I'm good again.
It's that one part you can't get through.
Yeah. But last and not least, I've been revisiting Super Mario Sunshine, and that game
Mario Sunshine
is okay.
Let's go. It's not as great as maybe you remember it is.
But I still really enjoy it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I've been, I think I'm 40 to 50 stars deep, and I'm just having a shine sprites, not stars. I'm still just having a blast.
The urge to correct you was incredibly strong, but I held myself.
Bless you. I'm about 50 moons deep.
I could at least accept that one. Because that's technically true.
I
In
mean-
Mario lore.
In like, what are there, 5 3D Mario games now, and 3 of them
Yeah.
had stars. So don't give me that.
I didn't. I told you I held myself back.
Fight.
That's a different stream. I'm still really hoping that we get an HD remake of the game at this point.
This is a
I'd
game
like
that
to see
needs it.
certain things like fixed.
Yeah. Like the pachinko level that doesn't actually work.
That's my favorite level.
It's bad.
I
It's
didn't,
Pachinko.
I didn't have too
I don't
much
play
problems with
pachinko.
it, but I did notice that like you'd go to like I'd go to hover with Flood at
And you
certain
get
points.
frozen in air, right?
Well, it dragged me. It forced me into like that top center slot. And so it took me a really long time to break the physics and go where I needed to go.
Yeah, the programming in that level is just awful.
Needs
That's like
some
the
work.
actual problem is the programming is bad.
Yeah, but thankfully that sort of a thing is an anomaly, you know, when it comes to Mario games.
Yeah, not the norm.
I feel like with a little more TLC, that game would be, you know, just really spectacular.
Yeah, it's got
At
the
the very
potential.
least, I'd love to see them like do a sequel because I really enjoy Flood. Like I feel like a Flood-centered game would just it'd be good.
My
It's
hope,
so good.
like we've been hoping for Sunshine DLC in Super Mario Odyssey, because I went in game and used the camera filters because they have the new gold coin one. You know, because the Delfino Island is on the globe, like it's physically on the globe, and now that they have that photo filter that shows you like the mapping of things on textures, you can see Delfino Island in the game itself, and they didn't patch that out.
We need the red star from Galaxy so we can fly there.
Yes. But when Isle Delfino eventually comes to Super Mario Odyssey, it's my hope that they actually let you utilize Flood. Don't
really
half
upset if
step.
they
Give me the
don't.
full step, and let's try
That'd
that
be
out.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Turns out the DLC is just a full scale like Sunshine remake.
Hey, 120 shines like compared to 999 moons. That's nothing.
I'd pay a lot of money for that DLC, honestly.
I would too.
I'd be all over that. Anything else about Sunshine, Paul?
Flood. That's it.
Flood. Anything you've been up to, Logan, for video games?
just a few things. I've been doing a few things that are pretty cool. One, I got Detroit Become Human, and I became human. I beat the game. It took me about 10 to 12 hours, maybe a little bit less. But I started a second playthrough. I haven't finished it yet. But if anybody doesn't know what this game is, there's a lot of branching story paths, lots of decisions to make that affects your future. And I'd say my ending was pretty good. Like, the androids survived and they got an audience with the humans, and there was peace.
I'd say spoilers, but I don't know if this qualifies.
Yeah, it's because you can play this game through so many different ways, and you don't know necessarily what choices I was making, and you might end up completely different. One of my characters did die near the end, and I was very upset. I don't think I was good enough at the QuickTime events. I think I might have been distracted. I was distracted, and one of my characters in the game died, and I couldn't get him back. There is a casual mode that makes it a lot easier for everybody to survive, but I'm not about that.
No. So what's your verdict on this game?
I think right now it's sitting at a solid 7. It's sitting at a place where I'm really interested. The game has something to say. The game functions like you would anticipate that it would function. I think it's in that way it's a lot better than David Cage's previous games, i.e. Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain was the one that really took off. And the game looks visually really, really great. Really great. You can tell that it's still like a computer. The animations are a lot of them are pre-generated, but they did get actors in for a lot of the the motion capture work, and
for sure
it looks really nice. And it's a lot of fun if you're into that kind of slow pace, like choose your own adventure story. That's exactly what this game is, and the presentation's great. And you can also do a lot of silly things, like obviously if I'm going to go through, I'm trying to save people. I'm a pretty empathetic person, so my first reaction is, oh yeah, of course I'm going to try to do this the best I can so I can save people. But then your humanity comes through and somebody starts throwing things at you and they don't like you because you're nice, and then you're like, I don't like you, person die. So there's a lot going on with this game. The replayability is there because, again, you can get all these different endings. I would say that's a hard recommend for me. If you're into these kind of games, absolutely go spend the $60. If you don't want to spend the $60, that's fine. Wait for a sale. I think it's easily worth $30 if you want this sort of experience. So
cool. I also want to note that during your explanation, you smacked your mic maybe 10 or 15 times.
I smacked my mic?
Or maybe the table.
Maybe hit the...
He had enthusiasm.
Oh, like that?
Yeah. One of the times the mic completely rattled, and I said, ooh, enthusiasm.
Really into this. So
anything else you played?
I did. Yeah, I played quite a bit this week.
You got a list.
I won't go on about certain games that we've gone on about. I played a little bit of Splatoon 2 because I wanted to play the Wahoo World. But I only did 2 matches, and one of those matches Wahoo World wasn't even in the lineup because I wanted to play Clan Blitz.
Oh, boo.
So I didn't get to play it. I'll probably play it a little bit later tonight. Mario Kart 8 was a ton of fun. It's always fun whooping all y'all's butts. Beat Saber was something that I've played recently that's also really great. And I played a few other VR games when I was home. I played Job Simulator, which is a game that I had been wanting to play for a long time. In terms of VR experiences, it looks like something that was worth my time. and I played through like the office job. And it's framed as like a museum, right? And so you go through these VR experiences of what people back in the day did for their office job or their mechanic job. And it's wildly mischaracterized and it's funny.
They got a lot of their facts wrong.
Right. And so it's only appropriate that a game like this, developers like this, follow up with something different, but just as zany. They worked with Justin Roiland to make Rick and Morty Virtual Reality, same studio. And I played through the entirety of that. Definitely not a $30 experience, but on sale, my younger brother got it on sale for under 15, and I think that's worth the money at that point. I played it through. There's like 9 chapters. And I got through all of them. And at a certain point, you unlock a like arcade cabinet, right? Mm-hmm. And if you've watched Rick and Morty, there is that episode where they go to the arcade and they do that one game where they put the helmet on and they live out the life of this person. Well, there's like a knockoff version in the game. So in the show, it's called Roy. And then in the game, there's this arcade machine called Troy, right? So it's the same kind of concept, except it's like really brought down because obviously how are you going to go about doing that in this VR game? But everything's made out of cardboard. So it's just like cardboard cutouts moving around talking to you and you making decisions based on like, okay, because you start out like, you're in like a crib, right? It's like all cardboard and there's like a few items you can pick up. I mean, you pick up an item and it determines what you do in the rest of your life. It skips forward till you're 16 and then you make other choices and you get involved in the wrong crowd, or you get smart and you make a lot of money, or you die from cancer, or maybe you have a child with your wife, but then while you're picking up the cardboard cutout of the baby, you accidentally drop it and they freak out and you end up in prison. And you then die alone. There's multiple outcomes. I don't think there's a ton, but there's enough where it's like, okay, I'm going to do this and something else is going to happen.
That's amazing.
You can die early, you can die late. But it was just a really neat thing to like throw in there. It's like a game within a game. And I really enjoyed it. I even brought my older sister down. I was like, okay, play through Troy. Just do this part of this one game that I'm putting into right now. So I'm a big fan of VR, and I can't wait to see what all these companies have cooking up next, because what we have now, I think we're finally getting our bearings. I think finally people are understanding hey, this is what VR is. Don't try to be these games. I think something similar happened, when we were going from 2D to 3D. Nobody knew what they were doing. It's like, let's throw these figures in a 3D environment.
The VR space is very similar to the Wii in its early years right now, where nobody knew exactly how to utilize motion control, and a lot of shovelware was getting thrown out there. That's what it is right now. But
it's coming along, and I'm super excited. And actually, the thing I'm anticipating most in terms of this is, Valve has been developing their Knuckles controllers. And it looks, we keep inching closer and closer to when those are coming, but I don't think those are coming until they finish one of the 3 reported games that Valve has been developing, specifically utilizing the Knuckles controllers. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. I don't think
Portal 3 will be one of them.
I could see Portal 3, especially the Knuckles controllers, because they latch onto you and you have full finger control. It'll be interesting to see. But a big thing with these is they just have to figure out how they're going to do location. There's a ton of solutions currently that work well, but they do kind of hamper the immersion.
There's not any one that is great is the issue.
Yeah, that's why games that factor the fact that locomotion isn't that great into the actual design, those games tend to do better. For example, standing experiences like a Racket NX or
Oh yeah.
Beat Saber.
Beat Saber and
We mentioned Beat Saber
Sprint
yet?
Vector. Like all those are standing experiences, and they're some of the best experiences you're going to have. So I can't wait to see what other people are doing and how the technology changes over the next few years.
Any other games?
Nah, man, that's it. That's all the games I played this week. Come back next week. Find out.
Wow, this has been a meaty show, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot done. We said a lot of things. We shed a lot of tears. We
We
Tears.
made a lot of threats to one another.
I still want
That
to
too.
We
cry.
got like 3 like battle
Excuse
royale
me.
streams
Stop
in the
looking
future.
at me. Stop looking at me.
Before we close, Ace, can you tell us a little bit about what you do at your YouTube channel?
Well, I do video game reviews, retro, indie, new games. I'm currently working on something to finish up my Sonic marathon that's taking forever to finish. Next game in the lineup is most likely God of War. I also been streaming every Tuesday. I'm hoping to maybe stream more. Probably shooting for Thursdays now, and maybe more to come. I haven't decided, but that's really me, video game reviewer and streamer.
There you go. So go over to Ace the Gamer Dude's YouTube channel. We'll add a link to that in the description. Definitely subscribe to him. Follow him on Twitter at Ace the Gamer Dude. It's under his face in the video version of this podcast. If you want to follow us and all the things we do, you can follow us at our individual Twitter handles. I'm at Babs. You can find Logan at LoggyDubs and Paul at Gunnysaurus. You can find us as a collective at the Breakroom Arcade at Breakroom Arcade. We're also on Facebook.
Whoa.
We have our website, breakroomarcade.com. Join our Discord server. We got a lot of people in there right now. It's growing. You can go in there. You can give us some recommendations for things we should watch, play. We might talk about it on the Breakdown podcast. And if you like what we do and you want to support us, definitely click on that link to our Patreon. You can donate as little as $1 a month. It really helps us out. So thank you guys for doing that. If you liked what you heard here today, leave a like on this video. Comment. Anything that you want to comment, please be nice. Outside of that, again, I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to come back in 15 minutes. I'll be streaming Mario Tennis Aces. That's the tournament demo that's on the eShop right now. I'm looking forward to playing that. And again, not next week, but the week after. It's big ol' E3 week. Make sure you're here. We'll be streaming every single conference except EA. And you'll be getting our live reactions and commentary to all new things at E3 on Tuesday, June 12th. We'll be pretty much 100% Nintendo. It's going to be a long day. But you want to spend it with us and check out all the cool things happening over at the E3 Expo. All the breaking announcements.
Breaking!
Breaking. If you missed what we've been doing in the last week, you can see a reaction video to the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu trailer up on the channel, as well as a dedicated discussion to that. Plug everything, as Zachary Ryan at IGN told us to do. Thank you, Zach. We love you. So I guess with that, we'll see you guys next time on the Breakdown Podcast, episode 17 of the show. It's that number's climbing, and it's climbing fast. I can't believe we're that deep already.
17?
17.
I thought it was 15.
Today was episode 16. Last week was 15.
16, we're both wrong.
What? Next week is 17.
Next week is 17.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's no way
Logan
this
forgot
week
where
is
he's at.
17.
Logan's right on top of things here at the Breakdown Podcast. So once again,
always.
We'll see you next Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time with the Breakdown Podcast, episode 17. Thank you guys for watching. Don't break your backs, breaking the games. But for now, break time is over.
Break time's over.
Close, Logan.